I listened to you probably about a week ago, and you absolutely blew my mind. So I'm a local realtor here in Dallas, Texas, and I didn't know that I was paying that much in interest on my loan. So I appreciate you just showing that to me. We had a car that we bought it for 62 grand, and we have it down to like 25,000, and we went on and refinanced that, and just because we had a low interest rate on it. And now we're applying that difference to our mortgage to where now we're knocking out like $900 in interest every single month. So I appreciate you on that nugget. You saved me a ton of money. Um, I, w- I wanted you to go over, because I read your book, great book. Can you touch on leverage for me? What does that mean? And can you
Great.
give us an example of what leverage is?
Okay. So we're going to talk about that. Let me pull up another example here. While I'm pulling that up, Cameron, tell us, while we're getting that ready, tell us about the book. As being in real estate, what has this meant to you? Was this information that was new to you, or it's just a variation on a theme? Or tell us what
Well,
you think
I,
about this
I,
information.
I knew about it. I just didn't know how powerful it was. Every time whoever buys a house, that title escrow officer just says, "Hey, here's your schedule amortization. Don't look at the big number." And they just say, "Hey, just make a couple payments. You can get that down a little bit." But they really don't go into how powerful it is and show you how much you're saving. So when I read the book and I looked at some examples, I was like, "Oh my goodness." Like I give you an example. We paid off a car probably about 3 years ago. I just wrote a check, 7 grand, was done with it. But after reading this book, and if I would apply that to my mortgage, it was just like, oh my goodness, I would have saved so much more money if I would have went that route, to where it was more so like an eye opener. I don't want to be a cheapskate on with my wife or my kids or anything like that. So we still want to live the life, but I'm more aware of, okay, we can do this, or we can apply this to this and save even more money. So I'm more aware of, what I'm spending money on and whether or not it makes sense when I start looking at big picture.
All right, Cameron, thank you for that. We're bringing up the program that does all of the math so that we can talk about what leverage is. Okay.
Sounds good.
So you are familiar because the book brings up having a mechanical advantage. Okay. That's
Hmm.
like a pulley system or a lever. Okay. So if you have the right pulley system, all right, and you got the engine block, all right, an engine block, all right, can a 12-year-old girl lift an engine block by herself with the right pulley system?
With the right system, absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. And so here's what we're talking about. Leverage is what is the least amount of effort I can put into something to get the greatest return. I want to take a small something and give me a big something as a result. Okay. I want to pay a little bit of money, but I want to get a big return on my money. Okay. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. So what we have here on the screen is John and Rebecca Jones. We're starting out in December and we're looking at their action plan. And in the action plan, all we're doing is checking off how much they make and how much they're spending. When you see these little arrows, Cameron, that means put
Hmm.
money in savings and hold it there. So
Hmm.
if John and Rebecca Jones were to go through this, let's say John makes 950 bucks. Okay.
Hmm.
He has $500 in the bank right now. So if he executes that and says, okay, I got my 950 bucks. I execute that. I just told the program that I made 950. You see how it disappears from the screen?
Yep.
If we go into the accounts, we can see that his checking account, so we're going to hit the history. We see that he just deposited 950 and his starting balance was $500. You see that?
Gotcha.
So now he has
Uh,
1450 in the bank.
1450. Yep.
So his virtual account matches what he has in his real account. Okay. So we
Gotcha.
go back to the action plan, and every time we do something, it just disappears from the screen when we execute it. So now he pays his mortgage payment. All right. When he pays his mortgage payment, that disappears from the screen. Then his
Gotcha.
utility bill. But here's the thing with the utility bill. Sometimes it's not as much as we thought it was going to be.
Hmm.
All right. So let me go back here and show you something. Do you see where the program is saying put $100 in savings?
Yep.
Okay, take money from checking and put it into savings. But if we take our utility bill and say, oh, our utility bill, it's only 150 this month. Okay,
That
so we have
difference.
$50 left over. What do we do with that $50? Well, the program says we're going to execute that. It says, oh, you know that $50 that you were going to roll over, just put it in the bank? You had planned to spend that $50. But let's put that in savings and let's see how much interest we can save with that. And this $50 will increase for John and Rebecca Jones. It'll increase their interest savings by about $250. If you knew that,
Awesome.
would that be good news to you that $50 that you probably would have gone out and had a nice dinner with can save me $250 on my debt?
All day long. I'll take it all day.
All right. So now we're just paying the bills, getting money in, and putting money in savings. So we're going to do this for the next 2 months because the program is not telling us to put anything extra on the debt this month. We're going to pay the minimum
Hmm.
on the Visa, the minimum on the auto loan, and we're going to put
Yep.
the minimum on the mortgage this month in December. Okay. So the program said, what are you waiting for? Well, the program says, well, listen, if we do this thing right, by the time we get to February 6th, we will have $3,170 saved up into savings to put on debt.
Yep.
Now, why is this important? Because you're living your life here in December. Okay. You're paying your
Hmm.
bills, you're making money, and you're having a good time because we put in here extra $1,300 in unitemized budget that you can spend anywhere you want.
Hmm.
Okay.
Nice.
So lifestyle is first in our program, not last.
But Don has some valuable information that can contribute to the quality of a person's life. And it only costs you a few dollars. It's his book. Why not get that?
I'm going to go through the P.I.L.L method myself with some of my investment properties. So I'm going to link up with Don, and then I'm going to sit down with him, show him my investment portfolio, and see how I can eliminate interest.